Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're Jemmy and Nye, exploring a new blog post by Mr. Len Kaplan, CEO of CDML, a managed service provider in Queens, NY.
That's right. CDML focuses on a whole range of IT solutions like network management, VoIP and UCaaS, cybersecurity, compliance, RAS, cloud solutions, and Microsoft 365 and Azure. Quite the portfolio.
Definitely. And this post tackles a really urgent issue. So if you're a small business owner or you manage IT for a growing organization, this deep dive is definitely for you.
We're looking at when trust breaks down. Why at this time CDML recommends switching from SonicWall SSL VPN to CDML Splashtop plus MFA for remote access. Big title, bigger implications.
Yeah, it sounds serious. We're unpacking how a tool many businesses trust, a security tool, has pretty suddenly become a major risk.
Okay, let's set the stage. Firewalls, guard the network perimeter, that's their job. But lately, big headlines about attacks on major vendors. Fortinet, Cisco, T-Plank.
Right, it seems like no one's immune. But this blog post zeroes in specifically on SonicWall, and even more specifically their SSL VPN feature.
Yeah. Exactly. SSL VPN. That stands for Secure Sockets Layer Virtual Private Network. It was a super common way for staff to securely connect back to the office network from anywhere.
Like extending the office network to their laptop at home.
Pretty much.
Right.
But it relies on opening a specific door, a port on the firewall. And that's where the trouble really kicked off.
Okay, so what happened? The post mentions a specific vulnerability.
It does. CVE 2024-40766. And the really scary part, this isn't just some theoretical problem found in the lab. Attackers are actively using this exploit right now. We're talking ransomware groups, like Akira.
Ransomware groups targeting a firewall vulnerability. That's bad. That's really bad.
It means time is running out if you're exposed. And here's where it gets even more, terrifying.
Oh, great. There's more.
Yeah. The article points out documented cases where attackers use this exploit and manage to bypass MFA, multi-factor authentication.
Wait, bypass MFA? Isn't that the whole point? Like password plus a code from your phone.
That's exactly it. It's supposed to be that crucial second layer of defense, but they got past it. And in some cases, they compromised entire domain controllers, the keys to the kingdom, within hours.
Hours. So the front door lock and the deadbolt just failed.
Effectively, yes. But believe it or not, that's only like half the story outlined in the CDML post.
Okay, what's the other half?
So in September 2025, SonicWall themselves confirmed a massive breach, not of customer networks directly, but of their own system. Their My SonicWall cloud backup system.
The system where customers store backups of their device configurations.
The very same. Hackers got in and stole those configuration backup files.
Yeah.
For potentially thousands of customer devices.
Okay, that sounds architectural. Like they didn't just pick the lock, they stole the building blueprints.
So there's the perfect analogy. It fundamentally changes the risk landscape.
So let's break that down. What exactly is in those configuration files? What did the attackers actually get?
They got the network's literal blueprints. We're talking detailed firewall configurations, all the rules, the VPN settings, and importantly, the NAT rules.
NAT rules, network address translation. Remind me why that's so critical.
Okay, think of NAT like the receptionist in your office building.
Mm-hmm.
Your company has one main public address, right?
Yeah.
But inside, you have lots of individual offices or desks with their own private numbers.
Okay.
NAT is the receptionist who knows exactly which internal desk number corresponds to that main public address when mail comes in or calls need to go out if someone steals the receptionist directory.
They know exactly where everyone sits and what their internal number is. They don't need to wander the halls figuring it out.
Precisely. They know the internal layout, which servers are running what services, making targeted attacks much, much easier.
Got it. So firewall rules, VPN settings, NAT rules.
Yeah.
What else?
The files also contain network topology, how everything is connected, user and group mappings, and credentials. Encrypted credentials, SonicWall says, but also encoded system info.
Right. SonicWall emphasizes the encryption on passwords. But if the attackers have the blueprints and an active exploit that can bypass MFA, how much comfort should that encryption really provide?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Strong encryption is good, but context is everything. Knowing the exact device models, the software versions from the config file, the network layout, it gives attackers a massive advantage.
They can focus their efforts, like knowing exactly which type of lock to pick.
Exactly. They can tailor attacks. They know the exposed perts already. They know the configurations. It's like giving a burglar the floor plans and telling them which window is usually left unlocked.
So the source calls this a perfect storm. Attackers have known targets, custom attack scripts.
And the third really crucial point, the vendor's own infrastructure was breached. It shows even the security companies themselves can be the weak link. That's huge.
Especially for businesses dealing with sensitive data, right? This feels like it crosses into compliance territory.
Absolutely. If your organization falls under regulations like ePay, that's for health information, or GLBA for financial data, or say the NYDFS cybersecurity rules in New York.
NYDFS 23, NYCR 500, yeah, notoriously strict.
Right. All of these mandate secure remote access controls. You have to demonstrate you're taking reasonable steps.
And continuing to use a VPN solution where the vendor system was breached and configuration blueprints were stolen, that doesn't sound very reasonable.
It arguably crosses the line into a potential violation. You have an obligation to maintain safeguards. When the foundation of that safeguard is demonstrably compromised, sticking with it becomes a serious liability.
So what's the concrete recommendation from the CDML blog post then?
It's pretty direct. Until SonicWall fully restores confidence, proves the stolen data can't be effectively used, CDML recommends a temporary tactical shift
To what?
to their alternative, CDML Remote Access, which uses Splashtop Business significantly with mandatory multi-factor authentication.
Okay, Splashtop. Why is that considered the smarter short-term move, according to the article? Why not just say, tighten the firewall rules?
Because it fundamentally changes the attack surface. First, and most importantly, it eliminates the open SSL VPN port that attackers are actively hammering right now with that CVE exploit.
Ah, so you're basically closing that specific door entirely.
Exactly. No exposed VPN endpoint for them to target. Second, MFA is mandatory for every single Splashtop connection. Not optional, not configurable in a way that might get bypassed like we saw with the VPN.
Okay. Mandatory MFA is definitely stronger.
Plus, it uses strong encryption, like TLS and AES 256, which is standard bank-level stuff. And crucially, it avoids that specific vendor infrastructure risk we talked about.
Oh, so.
Your core firewall configuration files aren't dependent on Splashtop's cloud in the same way they were on my SonicWall. It decouples that specific risk introduced by the SonicWall breach.
And the article mentions cost just $10 per user per month.
Yeah, which, compared to the potential cost of a ransomware incident or a compliance, fine. It seems pretty reasonable as a risk mitigation expense.
Okay, let's talk logistics. For a listener who's currently using the SonicWall SSL VPN, what's the migration path look like according to the source?
The CDML post lays out a clear sequence. First, figure out who actually uses the VPN and what they need it for. Just basic inventory.
Makes sense. Know your users.
Step 2, provision the new access through CDML's client portal using Splashtop. Get people set up on the alternative.
And then the crucial part.
Absolutely crucial. Step 3, immediately disable or severely restrict the SonicWall SSL VPN access. You have to close the vulnerable door once the new window is open. Don't leave both accessible.
Right. Can't leave the old vulnerability active. What's next?
Because those blueprints were stolen, you have to assume related credentials might be compromised. So step 4 is update all firewall admin passwords, any VPN-related user passwords, and regenerate security certificates and keys. Rotate everything, pretty much. And finally, step 5, monitor all the access logs. Keep an eye on who's connecting, when, from where, using both the old, now hopefully disabled system logs, and the new Splashtop logs. Vigilance.
The source mentions this transition could happen fast, like within a business day for most clients.
That the CDML states, yes, which really highlights the perceived urgency. It's not a plan for next quarter kind of recommendation.
And making that switch quickly doesn't just reduce the immediate technical risk, it also shows regulators you're being proactive about compliance.
Right? Exactly. It's a demonstrable action to mitigate a known serious risk.
So the final takeaway seems to be less about abandoning SonicWall forever and more about a necessary temporary pivot until trust is rebuilt.
That's the key message from the article, I think. SonicWall is still a major player, a respected vendor, but trust in cybersecurity has to be earned and maintained. When it's broken this significantly,
You need a plan B, at least for the short term.
Precisely. Shifting to a more controlled, isolated remote access model like Splashtop, one that doesn't rely on that exposed VPN port, just makes sound business sense right now, especially when your data, your operations, your reputation are on the line.
That was a really insightful deep dive into when trust breaks down, a serious warning, and a clear action plan for businesses relying on that specific remote access method. We hope this information helps you secure your network and stay compliant.
And if you found this deep dive useful for your business, please do click that thumbs up button wherever you're listening. It helps others find the show.
Definitely.
It really makes you think, though. If the perimeter itself is becoming this unreliable, What's the next step for network defense, especially for smaller businesses that maybe can't afford a full zero-trust overhaul overnight?
That's a heavy question to end on, something for everyone to consider. Stay safe out there.
Stay informed, stay compliant.
Till next time.